Hey there, my name's Katie. I'm here with Shapa Health. We are a numberless scale and personalized program. If you haven't heard about us, you can check us out. I will link our website to our description. Today I'm here to interview one of our Shapa members. Her name is Amanda. She's from Canada, and we got to dive into her experience with Shapa and a few other questions and non-scale victories along the way. So let's get started. Okay, what was life like before you started using Shapa, and what problems were you trying to solve once you found Shapa and the Shapa program?
Okay. Yeah. So I am in my 30s, and when I was in high school, I kind of really struggled with my weight, and it wasn't until after high school that I managed to lose 65 pounds, and that was through the traditional running, exercise, and weighing myself every day. And then when I reached my lowest weight, it got to a point where I was really fixated on like point 0.2 of a weight gain or point 0.5. And I thought it started to become feeling really unhealthy, that I wasn't really starting to listen to my body of what it needed rather than just focusing on the number. So in my mid 20s, I kind of threw away the scale and was like, I'm never weighing myself again. I just want to go with how I feel. And, time goes by and you try and maintain your healthy lifestyle. And then, next thing you know, you're looking in the mirror and you're like, wow, I'm not really happy with where I'm at. I'm not where I was in high school, but I've bounced the other way and I want to get back a little bit but do it healthy. So I woke up one morning and I was like, I wonder, like, is there like a scale out there that can tell you how much if you're losing weight, but not actually tell you how much you weigh? So like I Googled a numberless scale and Shapa was the one that popped up, and I started to get really curious about it. And then I ordered it. And then now I'm a life with Shapa. So that's a little bit my life before Shapa. Yeah.
No, that's great. So it sounds like you went through, which first of all, going through high school, and you said 65 pounds.
Yeah. It was a
Wow.
lot.
So then
Yeah.
what did you do for that back then?
Well, I think it was struck by love sickness. I had my first major breakup and I was like, oh, and so I started to weigh myself. I got a scale, like a traditional scale, and was like, I really want to I was looking at my grad pictures and I just was like, wow, like I don't like the way I look. I really want to like focus on me and get myself in a good place, especially after losing your first love, and build up your confidence. So then I just started running, and took on long distance running quite a bit. I was running about well, I guess 5 kilometers is like 2 miles a day, and focusing on what I was eating and counting calories and all that stuff. And it took me about 2 years to lose that amount of weight, which I think was quite healthy. But then once I got to my goal weight, it was like I wanted to do more, and I think that's when it starts to reach an unhealthy perspective on weight. And so I just made the conscious choice of like, I'm gonna throw away the scale. And a part of me is regretful that I did that, but at the same time, I think it was important for what I needed at the time in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's interesting you say that because Dan Ariely, co-founder, behavioral scientist, and he noted technically stepping on the scale every day does lead to just healthy, like a healthy weight or even weight loss just because you're aware. But as you noted, whether it's you're getting almost obsessive over like each decimal, or you just are like, it becomes more of a distraction. But yet at the same time, it still is helpful. So that is interesting that you're like, I'm just gonna type in numberless scale and see what happens, because it's like you still want to make progress, but it's just this negative, this number that kind of had changed what you thought about what you're doing. And did you feel like it affected like your strategy for the healthier lifestyle too, by seeing maybe the number?
I think so. Yeah, for sure. Because it would affect my mood. Like if I woke up and I gained point 0.3 of a pound, my whole mood would be, I was upset, or I felt like I failed, or like I did something wrong. And like, and like those thoughts are really unhealthy. It's really point 0.3 of a pound. Like maybe you just need to go pee, or like, like it's really not that big of a deal, but for me, it created a big deal in my head. And then I wasn't enjoying myself when I was out with my friends, or I was thinking about like, it just led to a very unhealthy fixation. And I think a lot of girls, or a lot of people in general, have this like perfectionist tendencies, especially when it comes to our bodies, that it can really warp our thinking into all areas of our life. And I just noticed that that's what it was doing for me. And yeah, I really do think it made a huge impact on my mental health and my psyche, of like focusing on the number. And yeah, I was just so happy to find something that didn't have a number, but still knew I was doing a good job, or I was making progress, you know?
Yeah, and then you can I mean, you've already been through it where you've tried a bunch of, and then it worked for you, like trying different strategies and habits to help you get to that point. Then you felt
Yeah.
good, but then it was like messing up with just like, oh, maybe I'm not doing the right thing, or like maybe this isn't the healthy way to do it. Maybe I need a more extreme. And so I liked your perspective of finally got to a point where I wanted to get to a different, like I wanted to keep going, but just more feel good and have a healthy lifestyle about it.
Yeah, totally.
Call it Shapa, Q Shapa. Um, okay, so for you, it sounds like you weren't necessarily looking for like a weight loss program, but you were looking for a scale alternative. Um,
Yeah.
so this question, I'm not sure how it would play a role, but what made Shapa stand out from other options to reach your goal? Were there other options for you?
Yeah, I mean, so I lost a certain amount of weight when I was younger, and I like I said, I kind of bounced the other direction after I kind of threw out the scale, even though I was maintaining my, like, going to the gym and doing different fitness classes, etc. I still didn't have that feedback that I wanted for a scale, but I didn't want the numbers. So like I googled numberless scale, and Shape came up, and my goal has been to lose an amount of weight, and more so like just to fit the clothes that I want to fit into, and some of my clothes have started to fit. My previous clothes have started to fit me now, so I'm feeling really excited about that. And I think my goal was just to like get a scale, get the shape of scale, get to the blues and the teals, and see what I can do, and get to a point where I can look in the mirror and feel 100% confident and have self-esteem and wear the clothes I like to wear. And then once I reach that point, then I can just maintain the green, and then hopefully never have this problem of like throwing it away and writing it off completely, and then bouncing back and having to go back and do this yo-yo diet, which is awful, like has been shown like it's not healthy either. So that's my goal with Shapa. I don't have a set number in my head. I have kind of like a set idea of, the dress I want to fit into, but that's how I plan to use Shapa as a quote unquote, I guess, healthy lifestyle tool in essence. I guess that would be the right way for saying it.
Totally. It's
Yeah.
definitely a healthy lifestyle tool, especially when you
Yeah.
take the numbers away. And as you nailed it, you're like, I'm just trying to do this for the long term and
Yeah.
feel my best, look my best. And it's your journey. It's no one else is saying, get to this number or get to this look. You're like, I want to fit that dress. I want to feel my best when I go here.
Yeah.
And I think your approach to like seeing the blues, teals, eventually get to greens, and you're like, and then I don't have to throw it away. I can just monitor, feel good about where I'm at, and adjust.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. And then hearing, like, I was so excited about this scale, and I'm like, oh, telling all my friends about it, and they're like, well, why would you want to get a scale that doesn't have numbers? Like, what's the point? And I'm like, no, like, you just need to understand the science of it. Like, it just totally changes your perspective. And it's like, wow, I hit teal today, or wow, I hit blue, and they're like, but that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, yes, it does. Like, so seeing the skepticism, I think it's really important that people like kind of see beyond that and think outside the box creatively, because it really does like make a change in how you think about quote unquote weight, or how you think about your body. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
No, totally. I feel like people who reach out and they're like, numberless scale, it's not an oxymoron, or like, what does that even mean? And I'm like, I see what you mean. That does sound weird, but check us out. We do make sense. There's a science to it. And we're still calculating like all that is important, and getting those measurements in, but it's just showing you your trend on your progress. So it's still doing what a scale does, and actually almost taking in like the better concept of it, because it's like, okay, we look at your past 2 days, looking at your previous week, and we can for sure tell you where you're at.
Yeah.
And that's all you really need to know. And if you're trying to lose weight or even maintain weight, like, yeah, you're doing good.
And you can sync it with like all your different fitness devices, right? So I like that feature too. Like you can hook it up to different apps, whatever you're using, and it's just so seamless and yeah, it's just all inclusive. So it really does kind of help you think about it in like a whole picture as opposed to just like this one thing. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, as you mentioned, you're like, okay, maybe this was before we had started recording, but you had lost 4 pounds, 5 pounds.
Yeah. So when I first started using Shapa is when I came back from vacation and I had to do my 14-day isolation. So I was like, well, what better time to start, your fitness journey when you're stuck inside your house. So I used Shapa. I was doing at-home workouts, and then after the 2 weeks, I decided like there's an option on Shapa that you can see your progress if you choose to turn it on. And so, out of curiosity and slight skepticism, I was like, does this thing actually work? And I turned it on, and I actually lost 5 pounds in the first 2 weeks. So I was like, wow, it does work. So I'm going to turn off the feature, and I'm just going to go for it. And I think now it's been about 4 months, and I've lost 15 pounds. And because I checked and I was like, wow, okay, cool. And my friends have noticed, and they're saying, wow, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, it's this numberless scale that I told you about like 3 months ago, but you didn't believe me. So it's been perfect. And I'm really so happy that I bought it.
That's so amazing. I mean, the reason I asked, because I was like, some people, I mean, seeing the number is maybe, like you said, it was kind of skeptic. Is this actually working? Am I going to see the number? And so there is that option to see it. I know that it can be important of, okay, I've been doing this for a while. I would kind of like to know, and Shape will give you your average. And as you said, you can link it to Apple Health and Google Fit, and they'll tell you the actual number if you want to know. I think as I've seen with a lot of our members, they use it in very different ways. And we even have some people who like to check the number often. It's just kind of more of this like program that's kind of fits your lifestyle for every day.
Yeah.
Different ways of using it. It's great. So you kind of dove into your friends asking about it, but what is the main reason you would recommend Shapa to a friend or family?
I think I would recommend it to people that might get so, like, maybe if you're struggling with a diet or an exercise program and you're finding like nothing's working because you're getting so hyper kind of vigilant on what you're doing, and I feel like Shaper kind of gives you the freedom to just try different things and see what works, but then not to beat yourself up if you gained 0.5 of a pound or whatever. Maybe it's muscle. Like, it's like Shape takes that all into consideration and like is able to like just put it into perspective, as opposed to getting beaten, like getting down or beating yourself up because you don't think you're doing it right, etc. Yeah, and then things like my sister, she's 10 years younger than me, and she started this weight loss thing, and I noticed that she was getting really fixated on the numbers and like working out really hard, and I'm like, it's not about the number. Like, just enjoy. If you like working out, great, but like enjoy the process and really just kind of like make a more wholesome approach, because I think in society, I think us, fitting into certain size, or which is a dream, but like focusing on your number, it's so different, because bodies are so different. Everybody's size is so different. And what's healthy for someone else might not be very healthy for you. And so I just think taking the numbers away, and just focusing on health is why I would recommend Shapa to everyone that I've talked to about it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. I love everything that you're saying. That's definitely my standpoint. I know Shapa fully agrees on that. I think that, so you said that you said that you started using Shapa, and I love that you said it's more of a lifestyle thing. So when you started using it and you saw, okay, I'm green or I'm teal, what, instead of, maybe going drastically, if you saw a number, you'd be like, oh, I got to totally change my diet, or I totally got to change my workout. What personally for you, along with Shapa? Like, what kind of habits did you start to change?
Good question. I think some habits that I started to change with Shapa is like um, kind of focusing more on what I'm eating. Like if I saw teal or if I saw, blue, I'd be like, well, what did I have for dinner the last couple of weeks? Or like, did I have more protein, or did I eat more vegetables? Or, maybe I had a bit of a binge and had some French fries, but still hit teal. Like, it was like some of it allowed me to still do what I'm doing, and even some of those little unhealthy things that you might squeeze in or have like a bad day and still have the results. Like, it's nice to have that affirmation that you can look back on your week and take those things that you think you did right, or maybe you worked out an extra couple times, and carry that forward. Yeah, I think, and then just feeling the excitement of hitting blue, because I know when you hit blue, you get like these little confettis that come out on your phone, and you're like, woo! You just feel so happy. Yeah, and it's just really motivating to keep doing what you're doing and knowing that you're getting the right feedback. Yeah.
I love when it goes blue and then it explodes the confetti, but it's
Yeah.
a little quote at the bottom's like, your habits are paying off, but it's so true. It's like, yeah, she helped me, but like, I'm creating my own program from like my life program.
Totally. And also, yeah, I guess that's another point, is the little missions too. Like, I try and use them. There's different categories, I think physical, social, and they encourage you to do different things. I think one of them was social. It was like, call a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Cause like, those are all healthy habits. It boosts your dopamine and feeling like, yeah, I'm going to reach out to a friend. I haven't talked to them in a while, and find that human connection or whatever it is. And then it increases your mood that maybe you don't go for that bag of chips in the evening, or like, so there's different ways that Shapa can help, and just do these little daily reminders, and you get badges too. Like, there's this whole thing that you can dive into and like have a great time with using Shapa.
Yeah, no, I love, I got one, it was like, and this is just a problem of mine. It's like, don't eat distracted. And even when I'm like, oh, scrolling through my phone though that doesn't count, right? Because I'm watching TV, but it so does. I'm just like eating and then also thinking about other people. And I'm like, dang it, Shapa's right. I should just put that away and mindfully eat. And then that's just diving into even mindful eating is a whole nother tactic. So
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the app. I love it. And I got the white. You can choose different colors, but I got the white one, and I really like how it goes with my bathroom. And I like the way it looks. It's very sleek, very modern, and it almost feels like you're stepping on like a tree stump, like, because it's round and it has like these wood grains in it. So yeah, I like the way it looks too, and it's kind of inconspicuous, and I haven't had anybody over too much to ask about like, what is that? But I'm sure like once we're allowed to have a little bit more freedom with our friends, that people will be asking like, what is that round thing in your bathroom with no numbers?
That is very important. The white one's one of our new ones, and that one's so clean. Especially when you come out of the package, you're like, oh, this is actually legit. No one would know what it is, but I know what it is.
Yeah. And it's a talking piece, like, like someone noticing a painting in your house, be like, what's that round thing in your bathroom?
Totally. I remember moving in with some roommates, and I like, sorry guys, I'm gonna put this in our bathroom. I'm like, what is that? I was like, you don't have one? Someone should have one. Especially with women. I mean, I can go down that road and like, I mean, we've already talked on that, but I encourage so many of my friends, especially if it's different for everyone, because some people thrive with the number. They're confident in it, they like it, they need to see it, and I'm like, you go. But if you are kind of like obsessive over it, or it just hinders their day to day, I'm always like, just try it out. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna try
100%.
about
Yeah.
health, and like that's your interest. Maybe this might be good for you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm so happy. So, and thanks for talking about it. I'm like, I've been wanting to share my excitement about it, to have to like someone else who gets it, whereas like I haven't been able to have that yet. So just having this talk with you is like really helped increase my excitement about it. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I reached out. I was like, I love to, well, I just love to talk too, but I'm just like, I love meeting people who are also members, but I like to hear their experience because Shapa is pretty new and it's different. And you're like, you can't, it's hard to like connect with someone unless they use it too. You're like, yeah, but it compares, it's a trend, it's colors. Like, I'm like, well, you should just try it out. But yeah, I love to be able to like talk to someone who gets it, like especially we can connect on the blue confetti and you know that's a good moment. You're like, that right there is cool.
So true.
People are like, you're nuts. What are you talking about? Okay. Okay. Last question. This is optional, but is there anything else you'd like to say about your Shapa experience? Yeah, just any final notes.
If you haven't tried Shapa, I think you should try it. And if you're thinking about trying Shapa, I think you should take the plunge and just try it and just see what happens. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Simple and to the point. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, it's been fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that was so great. Like I said, I love getting to connect and do these interviews. And I'm so happy you were into it too. I was like, nice. Like I can't wait to talk to her. And I love your approach to using Shape and how you started using it and just seeing that you're thrilled about it. It makes it even better. I'm like, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Success with it. Like that's, I mean, you can't miss that note. Like you've already lost 15 pounds in what, how long? 3 months?
4 months. Yeah, about that. Yeah. So that's
everything, but it sounds like you did it in just such a healthy long-term way. Like these are just some huge wins.
Yeah, and I just feel like before, like when I threw out the scale, even though I was maintaining this healthy lifestyle, I just found like the weight kind of creeping up, you know, not like exponentially over like 2 months time. It was just like 5 years of, you know, like life changes, school, work, and just noticing like it's slowly creeping up and you're getting older too. And yeah, I'm just like, and just needing something to kind of bounce back. I almost gave up at one point. I was like, you know what? I'm just destined to be like this. There's like, I'm just gonna give up. And then I just had the chance to search for the scale and then I'm really happy I didn't give up and found Shapa. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that a lot too. I mean, even I've been through that where it's like, you kind of fade away slowly but surely, but the longer you do, the less you're likely to check. And then, you know, by checking would get you on the roll, but you're just, see if I just don't look for another month, but then like your habits continue to like stay the same or maybe make habits in the other direction. And so what we hear with a lot of Shapa users is like, just just stepping on it, maybe just start that process in a gentler way than just like being shamed by that number you see. It's like, what do I do?
Yeah. Totally. That's a really good point. Like just being like, oh, I'll just wait another month and then I'll check, you know, like that procrastination contributes to like, even though it contributes to the larger whole of slowly fading away. Like you said, like kind of just not letting yourself go, but just like not putting you as the focal of your health and wealth and success in your own personal life, whatever it is you're doing. So yeah, no, that's a really good point. And I think that's definitely what happened to me. So I'm happy to have this scale help me combat some of that.
That's amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy there's a tool out there. I mean, yes, I work for Shapa, but also I would like to work for something I also believe in. And it's awesome that there's a tool out there that can do this for people.
Yeah, no, you have a really fun job.
I get to interview cool people and talk about something I really enjoy. So, well, that was great. It was so awesome getting to meet you, and I really appreciate your time. And this helps so much for users to encourage them and get to know Shapa from an actual member. So thank you so much.
Well, I can't wait to hear more stories of you reaching out to other folks. So, this is just a piece of the puzzle. So thank you so much.
Stay tuned. And I don't know if you're a part of our Facebook community, but we've got a lot of members in there and they are so great and they encourage each other and you can see people like when they're in their colors or maybe they're stuck in the color, they motivate each other and celebrate when you get blue. So
yeah, well, I'm going to join that group.
Yeah, Facebook, hop on. It's the Shapa community. It's a good one.
Cool. I'm there. Thank you so much.
Great. Well, it's great meeting you.
Yeah, great to meet you too. And maybe we'll talk again soon.
Okay, sounds
Okay,
good. Bye,
take
Amanda.
care. Bye.